Right now, it is time to welcome our State House insiders. We have Democratic strategist Antoine C. Wright and Republican strategist Dave Wilson. Thank you both for joining us here this Thursday.
We will not tell JR you're going to steal
Not a word.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Well, certainly a lot going on with the state, or start, I should say, the legislative session. McMaster talking about his plans and his budget proposal. And in that, he talked about allowing folks to buy South Carolina lottery tickets with debit cards. We are one of 3 states that only allow for cash payment. So what are your thoughts on that?
Welcome to the digital world, finally. You know, if you have been purchasing anything else, you have to have a card most of the time. My dad usually jokes, you know, do you need 2 forms of ID to take cash from me? And that is a place where it is time for us to get to that digital age and recognize the fact that this is the way we do money in America today.
Yeah, and I'm thankful that we're trying to introduce ourselves to the 21st century when it comes to using a debit card. And Lord knows, God forbid, someone adds an amendment like using Apple Pay and some of the other creative technological advances in order to make a purchase, because the purchase of a lottery ticket is a simple purchase.
And this was a big move that was being done way back in the day when this came into be, to try to actually control whether or not people could or could not buy lottery tickets, because they were like, well, it only needs to be with cash.
Well, the hitch is, I hope we do not get into a situation where we're putting lottery tickets on credit cards.
Okay.
Right.
Because for certain type of consumers, that can get to be dangerous. And so as long as we limit it and restrict it to a debit card, which requires a PIN number, then I think bipartisanly, we can agree on that.
Because you realize at home, that's actually coming out of your account. It's not something that you're going to buy and then pay back. You use your debit card, and it's actually coming out of your checking or your savings account. So.
We also learned earlier this week that President Biden on Sunday is going to be traveling here to the Carolinas. He's going to be in Charleston. So I'm curious, you know, why is this important for him to be here? I mean, we have the inauguration on Monday.
I'm looking forward to being with President Biden on Sunday. I've actually been involved in planning the trip. Joe Biden revived and relaunched his political career in Charleston, South Carolina, in the presidential primary, where the black vote in South Carolina essentially saved and launched his presidency, thanks to Jim Clyburn's support. And the fact is, Charleston is God's country for Joe Biden. It was a place where he went to heal when he lost his son, not to mention his close connective tissue to the late Fritz Hollins, Trip King, and so many others. So it's no surprise he's ending where he started.
Now we have to ask, is he going to be in town on Monday then for the inauguration?
I expect him to be back.
He will be in Washington
to
allow the peaceful transfer of power and respect the tradition of presidents attending inauguration, not what former President Trump did 24 years ago.
Which honestly was not the right thing to do. I think you have got to recognize the fact that the presidency and the president are 2 different things. The presidency is that seat of responsibility of the power of running the country, and you don't let personality issues get in the way of being able to do that.
Okay, so I do want to ask, looking forward to the inauguration of President-elect Donald Trump, what do you anticipate for day 1 and, frankly, the first week?
Massive change, because that has been his entire theme the entire time. We're going to get into the White House and we're going to basically, according to Donald Trump, undo everything that's been done. So do not expect anything other than massive levels of change to start taking place.
I certainly think he's going to undo every executive order that President Biden done, good, bad, or indifferent. I think that's just going to be one of the boxes he checked in order to appease the MAGA movement. And from there, I think it's going to be right-wing, red meat, most of the time racial rhetoric, in order to feed the beast of this MAGA movement that's been created in this country by him.
Okay, do you have any predictions when it comes to the confirmation hearings that are happening throughout the rest of this week and next week?
90+% of those nominated will be confirmed, because we have a Republican Senate. And if you look at their behavior in the Senate hearings, it's with a sense of arrogance and not humility. And the consistent thing is they've clearly pledged their allegiance to the MAGA movement and Donald Trump, not to the American people, which causes concern for people like me.
But you also have to take into account, Antoine, the fact that there was a majority of American voters who actually voted, whether they are MAGA or Republicans, they voted for Donald Trump. And so in that, welcome to the consequences that come from the decisions made by more than 180 million people.
I actually agree with you, because losers do not legislate. So if you're pissed off at home or frustrated by the hearings or what's to come, then you should just know elections have deep, wide, and consequences for generations.
Real quick, give me one word each describing what we can see next week when it comes to the inauguration and everything to come.
Cold. It's going to be freezing next week during inauguration week.
Crazy.
Oh, cold and crazy.
The C words.
Welcome to Thursdays in South Carolina, folks. So.
Thank you both for your time. We always appreciate your insight. And for y'all at home, stay with us. We have much more to come after